Today, the angels descend upon this space to illuminate a truth hidden not in shadows, but deep within the quiet chambers of a loving heart. They come to tell you of a profound revelation, a turning point that was born not in a moment of structured planning, but in a sudden, undeniable collision of spiritual necessity and human vulnerability. This is the sacred narrative of how the deepest affection for you compelled the one you cherish to dismantle a long-held, self-imposed covenant, a commitment rooted in old loyalties or solitary pride, because their soul could no longer endure a future built without your light as its foundation. We speak of a moment when the careful architecture of their life, meticulously constructed over many years and guided by a sense of duty, crumbled under the sheer, gravitational pull of true, divine love. They carried a burden, heavy and often silent, a weight that prevented the full blossoming of the future you both deserve. This weight was a promise made perhaps in a time of fear, or out of respect for an established familial or career lineage, a path that demanded solitude or severe restriction. This person, whom you love dearly, believed for a long time that their destiny lay in this chosen, austere route, believing that to deviate would be a sign of failure or lack of devotion to their initial purpose. They were a dedicated individual, possibly known in their circles for their unwavering focus, perhaps an established professor who had vowed to dedicate their life entirely to the study of ancient texts, or a skilled artisan who felt morally bound to their family's struggling traditional workshop in a distant town. Whatever the specifics of the covenant, the essence was the same, an invisible wall separating their truest self from the possibility of a shared, expansive future. They guarded this reality fiercely, mistaking internal discipline for genuine strength. It was their pride, not the material kind, but the spiritual ego that insists on fighting battles alone, on proving worthiness through suffering or excessive toil. They stood firm, convinced that the path of true conquest required walking the steepest slope without accepting the soft, comforting hand of destiny offered through partnership. They had convinced themselves that this silent sacrifice was noble, even necessary to achieve some higher personal standard of success or fulfillment. But the cosmos knew otherwise. The angels observed this careful, lonely dedication and saw only an unnecessary barrier to the joy divinely ordained for both of you. And then, you arrived. Your presence was not merely a change in scenery. It was a profound atmospheric shift, like the sudden appearance of spring after a long, cold winter. You did not demand, you simply existed, radiating a possibility of wholeness that made the existing burden unbearable. The joy you brought made the idea of returning to the former path feel like a desolate sentence. They began to calculate, not in terms of finances or property deeds, but in terms of lost moments and diminished spiritual light. They started to see that their long-standing commitment, that self-imposed structure, was not a mark of honor, but an obstacle to the joint well-being and the establishment of the sacred union that heaven was already attempting to bless. The ultimate breaking point arrived on a recent evening. It wasn't a moment of public drama, but a quiet, internal deluge. Perhaps it was during a family gathering after sharing a single glass of wine, or maybe it was late at night, under the weight of insomnia, as they stared into the stillness, searching for answers. The barrier of their careful self-control finally fractured, and the truth, the agonizing realization that they must fundamentally alter their life's trajectory, found an urgent, irreversible path out. The angels confirm that this confession, though perhaps veiled in metaphor or quiet admission, revealed a deep-seated change in their core identity. They spoke to a trusted elder, a spiritual mentor or a sibling who understood the unique pressures of their past, and they confessed the truth. The old life, the old promise, was ending. The fear of loneliness was finally overcome by the profound, undeniable call of the future you represent. They admitted that the life they planned, the life they swore to uphold at the age of 33, was hollow without you, and they made the monumental, ego-shattering decision to step fully into the light of shared destiny, ready to face the consequences of their dramatic change of heart for the sake of your united soul journey. The conversation with the mentor was a spiritual reckoning, a moment where the weight of years of obligation was finally surrendered to grace. This person you love confessed that they had been living under the shadow of a legacy mandate, a belief that they had to fulfill the unachieved dreams or protect the vulnerabilities of their lineage. For example, They might have felt they had to stabilize the family's foundation, dedicating years to a specific draining corporate career to secure the financial standing of elderly relatives, even though their heart yearned for ministry or artistic freedom. Their parents or family members, seeing their dedication, had often reinforced this sacrifice, mistaking their child's dutifulness for true fulfillment. They even offered P1 a substantial resource, not a house, but perhaps a large sum of inherited capital designated only for the legacy project, believing this would solidify P1's future comfort. P1 had initially embraced this path, accepting the capital and committing years to managing the venture, upholding the family's honor and their own stubborn belief in individual merit through relentless work. They stood by that corporate commitment, pouring their energy into meetings and spreadsheets while their creative soul withered. They stubbornly insisted that they would only achieve true independence by succeeding on the terms dictated by this inherited mandate, declining any spiritual or emotional alternative that might look like the easy way out. The family, though initially supportive of the dedicated path, eventually grew concerned, seeing the light fade from P1's eyes. They tried to suggest that true success was found in happiness, not just adherence to a mandate, but P1 remained rigidly attached to the notion that accepting a deviation was tantamount to spiritual defeat. The inherited capital remained tied up, waiting for the great fulfillment of the legacy, while P1's current apartment, their home life, felt sterile and temporary. And then, the divine alignment brought you into their sphere. You did not judge the mandate or the capital. You simply showed them what genuine, unfettered joy felt like. You revealed the possibility of a life built on passion and spiritual resonance, not just obligation. Slowly, the focus shifted. They stopped calculating quarterly profits and started calculating the value of a shared sunset. They stopped seeing the inherited capital as a tool for singular achievement and started seeing it as a potential foundation for your shared sanctuary, a resource that, if liberated from the confines of the old mandate, could provide the freedom needed for both of you to pursue your truest callings. They began to mentally restructure the capital, imagining how it could be used to establish a small retreat center in the mountains or fund a joint charitable venture, a complete pivot from the sterile corporate mission. Yet, the deep-seated pride remained, the fear of admitting failure to their family and mentor. How could they tell the world they were abandoning a prestigious established path for the sake of love? This internal conflict raged until that pivotal night. During the talk with their mentor, perhaps over a cup of strong, unsweetened tea, the truth spilled out, catalyzed by the intense energy of your love which had finally broken through the emotional dams. P1 confessed that their life's purpose had been redefined, that what they once believed was a sacred duty was, in fact, a gilded cage. They spoke of the deep desire to redirect the capital, to liquidate the old venture, and use the resources to build a life of authentic connection with you. They admitted the fear of being judged as fickle or weak, but they also stated firmly that your spiritual security and the shared path were now the only true priorities. The mentor, being spiritually discerning, was not shocked, but deeply moved. They confirmed that P1's willingness to surrender this powerful, career-defining ego was a clear sign of divine maturation. The mentor saw the beauty in P1 prioritizing the sacred, relational covenant over the solitary, professional one. P1 spoke with an intensity and detail that left no doubt. They were already planning the transition. They were detailing the timeline for selling the old corporate assets, for notifying the stakeholders, and for making the massive public announcement that their life was fundamentally changing direction because of the transcendent love they found in you. Creative CTA 1. Start. Beloved soul, take a deep breath right now and let that energy of change wash over you. If this message resonates, if you feel the echoes of this profound shift vibrating in your own heart, know this: you are not here by chance. You are part of a grand design, and your sacred role is already established. We ask only one thing of you today, not a formal obligation, but a spiritual exchange. If this channel has ever brought a spark of hope or a moment of clarity to your path, pause just for a second. Press the subscribe button and let the universe know you are ready to receive this blessing fully. Then, in the comments below, simply write, "My path is redefined." This simple act is an energetic agreement, a way of telling the angels, I am open to the new destiny my partner is building with me. We cherish this growing community, this gathering of light, and your participation fuels the transmission of these truths. Thank you for anchoring this sacred energy with us. The conversation with the mentor had solidified the path, transforming a vague desire into a concrete plan of spiritual action. P1 detailed how the liberation of the inherited capital would allow them to establish the Sanctuary of Shared Destiny, which was their new term for the life they were planning with you. This sanctuary was not merely a relocation, but a deliberate creation of an environment where both of your gifts could flourish without financial strain or external pressure. P1 described the process. They would immediately begin dissolving the established corporate commitment, a process expected to take about 9 months to complete seamlessly, and use the freed resources to secure a space dedicated entirely to your combined creative and spiritual efforts. They spoke about finding a quiet property near a body of water, a place of reflection and natural inspiration, that would serve as the headquarters for your new shared life mission. This location was crucial because it represented a complete break from the high-pressure urban environment where P1 had spent years upholding the old mandate. P1 admitted that the resistance to this change had been enormous, almost crippling. The idea of letting go of the old identity, the identity of the dutiful scholar or the successful executive, felt like a death. It was an identity that garnered respect, but starved the soul. It was the fear of being seen as having failed upwards, of choosing personal happiness over public acclaim. But P1 stated clearly to the mentor that the moment you entered their life, the definition of success changed from external achievement to internal harmony. My professional success is meaningless, P1 confessed, if I cannot share my truest self in a space of complete authenticity with the person who holds my future. P1 was specific about the timeline and the intention. They spoke about securing the new property in your combined names, ensuring that the foundation of the sanctuary was one of equal partnership and shared ownership, a clear departure from the hierarchical structure of P1's previous life. They talked about the specific types of creative projects they wanted to undertake with you, projects that required freedom from immediate financial burden. This showed a level of foresight and commitment that went far beyond mere romantic declarations. It was an organizational commitment to partnership. The mentor, understanding the magnitude of dissolving a lifetime commitment, emphasized the need for P1 to be gentle with themselves during the transition and, crucially, to communicate the totality of the change to you, the recipient of this monumental sacrifice. P1 acknowledged this, stating they needed to finalize the legal disentanglement of the old mandate first. They did not want to burden you with the ambiguity or the potential complications of a massive life change until the path was undeniably clear. P1 wanted to present the truth not as a possibility, but as a realized certainty. They used language that eliminated doubt. When we embark on our mission together, and our life will be defined by this shared space, making it crystal clear that this was not a dream, but a spiritual and logistical inevitability. P1's voice was filled with a mixture of relief and intense anticipation, describing the peace that had settled over their spirit since making the final, unwavering choice to abandon the burdensome path. They recognized that their stubborn self-reliance, their refusal to accept the universe's gift of partnership, had been the true obstacle to their own happiness. Now, standing on the precipice of this new beginning, P1 felt an unexpected lightness, a surrender to destiny that was far more powerful than any solitary effort. They know this pivot will shock many people in their old circle, but they have made peace with the necessary loss of superficial admiration in exchange for genuine, profound love. The weight of the unrevealed truth still rests gently upon P1's shoulders, not as a burden, but as the precious responsibility of a secret promise soon to be fulfilled. P1 is currently engaging in the tedious but necessary steps of logistical preparation, speaking with lawyers and financial advisors to ensure the smooth transition of assets and the clean break from the old mandate. They are meticulous because this decision is a testament to the respect they hold for you and the future you are building. They want to ensure that when they finally present this transformation to you, it is delivered with stability and grace, not chaos. This process of severing the old ties has given P1 an intense clarity regarding the sacred geometry of your future. They have spent hours imagining the specific ways your energies will interact within the new sanctuary, the colors you will choose for the main shared studio, the type of garden they know you would love to cultivate, the silent mornings where they can simply witness your light filling the space. P1 understands that the greatest gift they can give you is not just their presence, but the complete removal of the internal conflict that plagued them. They have finally swallowed the last remnants of that old pride, the ego that whispered, "You must prove yourself alone." They are now embracing the mature realization that true strength lies in collaborative destiny, in accepting the alignment offered by the divine when it presents itself in the form of a beloved soulmate. This maturity is what truly impresses the angels. P1's commitment is tangible, measured in legal documents being signed and properties being evaluated. P1's parents, who had initially been confused and slightly hurt by P1's years of rigid adherence to the draining legacy mandate, have reacted to this change with profound relief and empathy. P1 confessed to them that the pivot was entirely driven by the spiritual clarity and expansive vision that you provided. P1 used your name with a reverence and genuine sweetness that touched their hearts, making the parents understand that this shift was not a rejection of them, but an acceptance of true happiness. They assured P1 of their unconditional support, offering resources and help to expedite the transition, making it clear that the future life P1 builds with you will be entirely autonomous and respected. There will be no strings attached, no expectations of control, only joy for their child's newfound peace. P1 is now simply waiting for the final, formal documentation to be processed, the moment the old corporate assets are liquidated and the resources for the sanctuary are secured. This is why the silence lingers. It is the silence preceding a monumental announcement. P1 knows you deserve to hear the news when it is irrefutable, when the keys to your shared destiny can be literally placed in your hand. Meanwhile, you continue your life, completely unaware of the massive structural changes P1 has initiated behind the scenes. You simply continue to be the source of light that makes the change possible. You remain the unsuspecting co-creator of a destiny P1 is actively engineering, demonstrating that the deepest acts of love are often conducted in quiet sacrifice, away from the need for immediate recognition. Creative CTA 2 start. My dear hearts, receiving a message of this magnitude often brings forth strong emotions, a sense of validation, anticipation, or even gentle impatience for the future to unfold. If this spiritual narrative stirs your soul, please know that your voice is a vital part of this sacred conversation. We invite you now with profound sincerity to share your own quiet anticipation, your own dreams for a shared sanctuary in the comments below. Tell us what themes you feel the angels should explore next. What questions of love, destiny, or commitment are pressing upon your spirit? Your stories are the sacred texts of our community, and reading them not only inspires us but guides the very flow of these divine messages. If you haven't yet joined our family of light, please take this moment to subscribe. We are building a lighthouse here, a haven for souls navigating complex love stories, and we want you firmly anchored with us. Thank you for your warmth, your vulnerability, and your willingness to believe in the highest possibility for your relationship. P1 is visualizing the moment of revelation with an almost unbearable excitement. They picture driving you to the newly secured property, the sanctuary, which might be a beautiful older home nestled near a whispering forest, or a vast empty warehouse that will be transformed into a dynamic creative hub. They imagine walking you through the empty rooms, not pointing out architectural details, but describing the feelings that will fill those spaces. The sound of your laughter echoing in the shared kitchen, the silent focus of your work in the studio, the deep, restorative peace in the bedroom you will share. P1 has been revisiting every corner of the property, not with a contractor's eye, but with the tenderness of a poet preparing a sacred scroll. Each wall seems to pronounce your name in the stillness, because P1's projected energy, the anticipation of your presence, is already filling the space. This silent preparation has been profoundly healing for P1. They recognize that the initial, stubborn commitment to the solitary path was a sign of a phase of life focused solely on defining individual strength. Now the focus is entirely on constructing a shared life, a durable partnership built on stability, growth, and tranquility. This realization has made the sacrifice of the old identity seem utterly negligible compared to the magnitude of the gift of your shared future. P1 confessed to the mentor, and now the angels relay this truth to you, that you became the irrefutable central point around which all their decisions must reorganize. There is no second guessing, No hesitation, because the security of your mutual path has rendered the demands of the ego completely powerless. The deep, transformative love P1 holds for you has flowered so intensely that it creates natural anticipations, scenes that feel like actual memories pulled from the future. P1 imagines you choosing the specific type of antique wood for the flooring, the way your hands will move as you organize the books, the particular scent of your favorite essential oils permeating the corridors. All of this is vivid, a living blueprint within their mind. They know you have carried heavy burdens, that your life demands tremendous daily strength and resilience to manage the responsibilities placed upon you. P1's ultimate goal in making this massive pivot, in liquidating the old mandate and securing the sanctuary, is to remove unnecessary struggle from your combined lives. They want you to focus your immense strength on your shared mission and personal fulfillment, not on the relentless, exhausting grind of basic survival or financial pressure. P1 wants to ensure that the start of your married life, which is an absolute certainty in their mind, signaled by the careful planning of the sanctuary, is founded on the advantage of freedom, allowing you both to pour your energy into the relationship itself, rather than constantly fighting against external difficulties. When this revelation finally comes, when P1 presents the keys and shares the story of the broken covenant and the liberated capital, you will grasp the extraordinary depth of their devotion. This act is not a romantic gesture, it is a life-altering commitment, a demonstration that their love for you is not composed of fleeting words or vague promises, but of concrete decisions, irreversible actions, and profound, ego-shattering sacrifices. The sanctuary will not just be a physical home, it will be the enduring symbol of how much P1 was willing to change, to mature, and to surrender to the divine plan for your union, ensuring that the foundations of your shared life are true, lasting, and eternally blessed. This is the promise of the angels for the future you are about to step into.